boom, 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 boom. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, 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 hey. What's up, everyone? Give me a second. Getting this into the Discord so the Cash Lane crew can get access to that fact that we streaming live, 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 live. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Giving everybody a second. I just sent the announcement out. Happy Sabbath. Getting into my Sephardic mode today, y'all. Has to be done. Has to be done. Gonna see who's gonna chill out on the Sabbath with me. Y'all know I got to talk about things that not only affect myself, but it can affect my family. It affects all families, you know. And in my walk to be a better child, I want to begin by, you know, doing the things that I need to do to really walk that path, not just talk it. So during the week, you know, I try to at least do one, you know, really intense business thought process. But at the same time, there's the spirit side of myself and the spirit side of yourselves that, you know, don't know your walk just like you don't know mine. Mine starts off, you know, as all children of Gen X and children today, just like children of tomorrow and the children of the past. Just it was a lot, not as frequent, of divorce, right? And what that does to a family. Just the gutting of whatever identity your family stood for is ripped away from you. And I don't think people understand that's what divorce means to a child. You know, I understand what it means to the two parents that may not be able to coexist as a unit anymore. But you've got to look at the baseline to that and look at this child and see the child's identity now divided. What we did was we had split personality disorder at the start of these marriages. So if you look at a child like Kanye, or you look at a child, any of these artists that, you know, that are business people that are out here, you know, of course we all got to question our intentions, but at the same time, without judgment, we have to look at what pain that child holds. And I don't think we take our child, our inner child, serious. Like we don't. We in scripture it talks about the fact of the need to that the child it understands the kingdom of God more than an adult does. And I don't think we take that to heart, that we're supposed to be childlike. Like whatever this quote unquote adulting ish is, I don't know what that crap is. Even to this day, my mom, you know, though she's in the state that she's in with her dementia, she still embraced that child. Like she still had a very childlike quality. And even my cousins and my family members, they know, like if you dealt with my mother's spirit and you've been around her spirit, like she has this really childlike beautifulness about her. And I've always had it, but some of it got jaded because of the divorce, right? And the ripping away of, you know, I'm sure, and I can't speak for her, and she really can't speak to her emotions truthfully anymore in the condition she's in. But from what I can see from the after effects now, there's moments that my mom will have some clarity, but that's far and far and in between, far and in between. And it was her disease, this dementia, this thing that it shakes foundations. Because if you've never experienced dementia, it's frightening. And I understand now my mom's fear of it, having seen it in my grandmother. But me personally, I can't live in that spirit of fear. That's just not my character. And I also feel like if we wish to forget, I think it's almost as the genie, so shall it be. If that is what you ask, you just want to forget and you just want to get rid of the pain, and then your mind says, okay, I'll make that happen. It just makes it happen. If you don't have anything to stand here for, if there's nothing that you can see, if you can't really see light and you can't see a reason to be here, and that's sad in a way. When you as a person can't find a reason to stay. No judgment, but that's what, as me, a child, that's the only summation I can place to it. And in that, there's a selfishness that I have to look into myself and see whether or not I hold any of those characters myself. Because the sins of the parents always fall on to these children, and that's us. We always catch the crap of the crap, right? And it's always the do as I say, not as I do type tweets. And then we're supposed to respect that as children. And then, we get to be adults, and then our children look at us like, really, dude? But the thing is that my generation, this Generation X, we're broken. Like, a lot of us are just like, we don't really fight up for shit. That's why we respect millennials a little bit more, because they will stand up for shit. But the shit that's sad is that you've still got these boomers pulling puppet string shit because they want to be like their fathers and their parents, because they came from this war, this world war crap, and they just want to relive their glory days of being children watching their parents be happy about war. And then they made a war machine. Now, needless to say, when everybody talks about this new world order crap, it's like, me looking now, thanks to MG and the rest of the tribe, having the 3 a.m. room to be able to like see that, there some people just assholes, because the dark ages was just when our faces were on the wall. Hold on. For those of you that don't know, hold on. Give me 1 second. Make sure I'm in. Yep, I'm in. Okay. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is the dark ages for them. Hold on, where's my... Do, 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 do. Bow, 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 bow. Bo, 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 bo. Let's see. I don't be using this thing. There we go. There we go. This is what I'm talking about. This is the dark ages, according to them. As if we had no culture, no people, no nothing. This is the Dark Ages. Like, real talk. This is Greece. Big lips and dreadlocks, man. Naughty dreads. Look at this goatee. Look at the dude's beard, man. We even got our light skinned sisters holding up Black Jesus. It's flags. Yeshua Yamashiach. This is when I say this is Sephardic in me. I say it from a place because I have to get back to feeling a certain vibe. I got to get back to my vibes. So today's talk, I want to talk about, or I not even want, I feel the need to explain where I'm coming from about tech, why I do tech the way I do it, and where I saw it. Because I don't think people understand exactly what's coming. Is everything that's been laid out since back in the day. It's sitting in a little book. We call it the Torah, and we call it the New Testament, where Yeshua speaks. And we take these words and we hear them, but we don't comprehend them. We see the world we're in, where in the book it speaks about a time in which it would be real easy for kids to understand what place they were at. And I kept, as a kid, asking, Father, why was I here right now, right here, right now? What is that purpose? I don't really get it. Don't get this place. Don't really like it here. But I understood that it must have been for a reason. Where I start, as I said, my parents divorced, and then we went to go live with my aunt. Now, in my aunt's home, I won't speak about her home because I haven't talked to my cousins about how far they want their information out. But let's just say they were not in a happy place, and all I had was this attic where my cousin, he had gone off to play football, like I forgot for what college, but he had gone off to college to play football. Shout out to Chucky. And as he was, when I was up in his room, his old room, it was like the safe spot because my cousins were just, and they know this, when they were kids, they were just angry, but they had a right to be because, again, their parents were not happy themselves. So again, these broken homes leave broken children. And I don't blame them for anything, but I just knew to stay out of the way because they were, in their teens, and I was this little kid who got preferential treatment in the home with my aunt because I was my mother's child. And my mother, again, has this spirit about her. Very blessed feeling. You feel lighter being around her. And of course, I'm my mother's child, so people began to say, begin now, I hear the same thing. But my thing is that, at that time as a child, the only thing I have was my grandmother had given my mother her Bible, her like thine this and thou testament type thing. And you live in a West Indian home, and that they can you hear that music playing. It's just no different than being in a if you're a Spanish child, and like my homeboy who's black like me, but he was raised by a Puerto Rican nana, like he would stay at that, and babysat him. In his teens he spoke fluent Spanish, right? Because every single day he was immersed in it as a child. Now in this world, we're immersed into the BS that they gave us, which was a television set. For them, it was a radio, right? The radio managed their lives, the boomers' lives, and then they got TVs and then sat us in front of them. And they were supposed to manage our lives. That's Generation X. So if you think that we're disjointed emotionally with y'all that are younger than us, just understand we only had a machine. that told us what we're supposed to think, told us how we're supposed to feel, told us what to buy, told us what to drive, told us what toys to have every single Christmas. Our parents weren't home. All you had were the other kids that either you fell in line with or you didn't, which is still for y'all, but y'all got it even worse. Because now everybody's just angry. Everybody's just pissed off. And nobody has any offerings as to how we're supposed to be emotionally sane when every single point in time something is tearing away any sanity you have. It could be something as simple as seeing somebody that looks just like you just get killed because they look just like you. And I don't think people take the trauma as a man that we're dealing with. That's just black men. Like, let's not get it twisted. I can't walk in certain neighborhoods in New York without feeling as if, like, I was living in a place in New York, like I thought I had made it, right? I was in Bayside, and I'm living like where my aunts and my mom lives, and I did that on my own, right? Just studying a freaking computer and studying everything about it. That's how I got there. All because I saw some shit in Revelations that clicked one day, and we're going to get into that in a second. But like I said, as a kid, the only thing I had was the word, and I read it inside and out, inside and out, inside and out. Because that's all I had. And then I would look around and see the problems my aunts were having and my cousins were having. And I'm one of those kids that I wanted to make other people feel better, right? I wanted to look out for them. I wanted to take care of them. Because it seemed like they couldn't take care of themselves. It seemed like for some damn reason, they were just missing the click that this whole shebang that they were dealing with was being repeated over and over and over and over. They're the same fucking story. It just changes degree, right? It's not 100% war, but it might be a fight in school between you and an adversary, which could be an entire nation because friends against friends, your friends against his friends, right? So it's still precept against precept. Wars and rumors of war are the same things in the hallways of school. Fights and rumors of fights. Right? We take things so freaking expansive, but we can't see the macro is so micro. Like the problems we have here are so freaking small, but at the same time, we have our own personal problems and then our own personal demons. And we're combating each one of these things while we're still trying to walk in a world that hates us. That we can't hide. Like we can't, like I can't magically be light and have long ass hair. But then why should I feel safe to look like that? Like, why is it I would have to look like that to feel safe? And then you understand why some of my brothers and sisters will bleach themselves and look at their hair as it's not a beautiful thing. Because with their identity cannot just come ridicule, but it can be physical abuse. And see, the indoctrination in our school systems made sure to hammer that point every February. Did they tell you about this? Did they tell you you were the Romans? Did they tell you were the Greeks? No? What did they tell you? They told you what Deuteronomy told you. That yokes of iron would be put across your neck, and they made sure to never let you to forget it. And that you would be shipped across the waters. It didn't mean you came from Africa. It just meant that they would shuffle you around. And you are shuffled around, but you're everywhere, though. I've been to Japan, and like I showed in the Discord, JAPANESEAFROS. Like I said in the Discord, let's not get it twisted. I've been to Japan. I used to rap in the clubs. It gave me, I'm not talking about Okinawa. I was mainland in Iwakuni, Japan. You know, where they dropped the bomb, where the flash is on the wall. They have a memorial to it. What's up, K-Bangers? I'm glad you're here. Like, look at this brother right here. This was the guys that was like my DJ. I mean, not this one. This the guy isn't, but like these were the DJs. These were the hip hop heads. And do you know why they were the hip hop heads? Like dreadlocks. Like what they had. When I say they have dreadlocks, no, not like my Australian Albion brothers and sisters, where they clump up. No. I'm talking about they've got afro. For those of y'all that ain't heard my timeline talk, 40 years later, they send over NPCs and marry. Damn right. And anime. Immersive and anime. They make sure to tell us who we are. They even put our bubble ass lips as Mr. Bobo and say we were gods. Come on, man. Stop it. Mr. Bobo. Come on, man. They even told us. Stop it. They've been like, this ain't disrespectful. This is the same thing they do in Brazil. This is the same thing they do in certain cultures. They revere their brothers. And when I was in Japan, this queen, elder, statesman, a grandmother, she touched my skin and in Japanese said kawaii. And I understood what it was only because I was trying to pimp in the clubs, and kawaii meant cute. I used to say that all the time. Hey, sumimasen means excuse me. Kawaii ne? And I tell you, kawaii, you're pretty. And they were like, oh, he knows Japanese. Eskoshi. Just a little bit. Man. And then I would turn on there to I'd be lounging with these ladies and then we'd be watching TV in the middle, 8 o'clock at night, bang, they're turning on Dragon Ball Z. And then I see this Negro and I wanted to be offended. But like I said, this older black woman, older Japanese woman touched my face and said kawaii, said pretty. So then it changed my perception because it was almost as the father was trying to make sure I knew something. And it's always father's way. Like I was not supposed to be in Iwakuni, Japan. I was supposed to be in Okinawa. I was in Okinawa. I was stationed to be at Okinawa. And it was right around the time where what's his name was driving the freaking truck, OJ. It was right around the OJ trial. Not the trial itself, but OJ driving the freaking trial because I was driving his truck. Because I remember I was sitting there looking up at the screen. I was in the someplace, and I was like, "What the hell is this Negro doing? He's just driving. They ain't shooting his ass." Well, all right, that's different, right? So I'm in Japan, and then I get transferred over to Iwakuni. So I was never supposed to meet her. I was never supposed to walk in her shop wanting a mink blanket because it gets cold in Japan. I didn't know nothing about no damn Japan and how cold it was. Right? Didn't know none of that. I walk in her place and I got like one of those little dragons, whatever. And then she touched my face. She said kawaii. And then her granddaughter said, oh my, and I was like, what did your grandmother say? She's like, kawaii. And she said some other stuff. And she said, my grandmother say, your skin is beautiful. She say your skin is first skin. All of our skin comes from your skin. Do you know what that does to you? In that one instant, everything that they had ever indoctrinated me with got smashed like Dragon Ball Z style. Blew that shit up. I felt lighter than a feather. My heart felt so damn much joy because for one time in my life, my skin wasn't my enemy. And I didn't even know it was until that moment. Until I walked back on base. And then I felt the shame of my shit all over again. But every time I walked out in town, another one of those moments happened. It was they want to call it it's basically right around the memorial of the when they dropped the bomb in Hiroshima, and they tell everybody, do not, all Americans, don't go to Hero on that day. Do not. Whatever you do, don't go to Hiroshima because they'll be in the streets. They hate the military. Da da da. My homeboy, who was the one that got me rapping in the clubs because he had heard me in Iwakuni doing battle raps, and he was like, "Yo, you should be in. I got a DJ that I can hook you up with. I know somebody. You can work with my DJ directly." And I was like, "Where?" I was like, "Okay." He's like, "You'll get paid." I was like, "Shit, I'm there." I got paid to go rap. Are you serious? Paid to rap. And I'm talking like, I'm not doing anything serious. I'm just like, for the most part, freestyling, but I could ride the rhythm. I just be freestyling, just having fun, saying crazy shit. It didn't matter. I became an MC. I move the crowd. They didn't understand shit I was saying. So as long as it just sounded, hey, 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 and they'll just be, hey, 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 man, that was it. I had whole rooms just like vibing like it was 8 Mile before 8 Mile. Everybody in the 313, throw your motherfucking hands up and follow me. Like that shit. That's the energy in that club, man. I was souped off of that. So he was like, no, we got to go, bro. He said, we got to go. We got to go because it's going to be the best party night. Everybody's going to be drunk. And yo, the Yakuza is going to be out spending big time money. I was like, and that's a good thing. He's like, man, then the Yakuza runs all the clubs you've been working at. They love you. Let's go. I was like, all right, we're in. So we dip out. They telling us don't go. We dip out. He's like, yo, we're going to have to park. We can't park near the club because it's just going to be like, everything's blocked off and barricaded as we get closer because we're near the wall. He's like, as we get closer, we got to make, we're going to have to park further down. So we're going to have to walk there. So as we park further down and we start walking to the club, all of a sudden we just, we basically get like, we're trying to cross the street. We see everybody's like, yo, we're going to have to cross over that way because that's where the club is. We got to go through it. So I was like, all right. So we start trying to navigate through this sea of people, and I'm sticking straight behind him so we can go. The next thing I know, boosh, we get pulled. Like literally 2 Japanese guys just snatch us and pull us like and grab us like by our shoulders, like on the other side of us, and they just and throwing our hand, like literally grabbing our hands and throwing it in the freaking air. And I'm like, and they were like, F America, F America. F. And I'm like, and there's cameras, but not like now. There's like, they didn't have all those phones and everything else out. I mean, I was an international star, man. I was stationed. I had fun. I got paid. Nobody knows who the hell I am, bro. Like you can see that in my numbers on my Spotify. Like not even. I just had fun. And if that could be any of y'all, like, it's really not like, they put us in a mind state of every single February, you ain't nothing but a slave. That's what kind of messed us up. Now, the fact that the only thing that disjointed me out of that whole scenario was I had to go visit my grandparents in the summer because my mom, who now was a single mom, had to take care of me. So she would send me my grandparents so that she knew I was safe and she could just do her thing and just make as much money through the summer as possible. Right? So that would be the time she could hustle and get her money up to invest. That's how come I know about investing, is because I watched my mom. I understand what it takes to be able to get to that next level where you have cash flow. What my mom did was she stopped and got comfortable. I don't stop, won't stop. I understand that these transitions, she got real happy. She's a boomer. She got happy off of what she's been able to do thus far. But what she didn't realize is inflation was going to eat the hell out of that. It was going to get crushed. But anyway, so we're in we're in the crowd, right? So we're going down, hands in there, they're pulling our hands up in the air. And I'm looking at him, he's like, F America, F. I'm like, yo, I tell him, I was like, but we American. He's like, no. And he says, he looks at Mike, he's like, you. And he points at the brownness of my skin. He flips my hand over to the white side of my skin or lighter shade of my skin, and he points at that and he says, America. You, America. I was like, oh. So he puts my hands back in the air and says, fuck America, fuck America. So we just like, fuck America, fuck America. Well, and I looked at my friend, he was like, I told you, bro. It's gonna be a bomb ass night. And he did not lie. It was the dopest night ever. I love, like, literally the only, like, and I barely made it to muster the next day. Like it was rough. Like I barely made it to muster because we still had some like small things we had to do at the supply unit. But like thankfully we didn't have to go early because it was over. I think it was over a weekend. It was something, but it was relaxed. It was like real relaxed. I lost my rank on my 21st birthday. So that's when I lost rank. I'll tell you about that story another time. But anyway, so we went to the club, and like I said, is like none of that shit that they were talking on base. I didn't feel none of that shish. Not a damn one of it. And then when we went back to the room, like I met up with I had a girlfriend there, and she was like, and she was real protective. She was like, nah, Skippy Honcho, Skippy. Skippy means horny, right? So in Japan, all the DJs are like, ooh, you Skippy Honcho number one. Oh, Skippy. Easy. You'd be like, oh, Skippy. And I'm like, nah, you Skippy. You have 2 girlfriends. He's like, oh, but you have 25 girlfriends. Skippy Honcho number one. Right, so she was like, what was it, Masako? Oh, Masayo. Yeah, I think her name was Masayo. She was like, you come with me tonight. I know you, Skippy Hancho. No. So we went back to, we went to a bar, and we hooked up, we hooked up with these, like, her bosses. And her bosses had, I guess, the gentleman's club. And so all these girls that we were hanging out with had money, and those girls that had money were the ones that were like basically tricking off these guys, these Japanese businessmen. And she'd be like, no, we just spend some time with them. They laugh and da da da, and then it's like a bathhouse, and then we get our money, and then we dip. And then the next wave of girls, the ones that will have sex with them, will come in and do that. But there's levels. I was like, oh, shoot. She was like, yes, we don't do that other stuff. And then there's the other ones that came in. Those are like I told in the room, I was like, the Korean girls were like, don't tell anybody that we're Korean. Because if they find out we're not Japanese, they'll fire us. So they were treated like niggas, for real. So we went back to her house after we were like sipping sake with this Japanese boss from the club we just came out of. He owned the club in Iwakuni, and he owned the club in Hiroshima. And he was the one that told the roommate, hey, there's a guy that raps. Go check him out and see if you like him to come work at the other place. So I learned all this shit later. And like I said, I spent a year in Japan just like getting paid every single weekend. Like, but I spent it all. Like, didn't learn nothing. I had no understanding of investments. And my staff sergeant at that time had told me to buy Microsoft at $5 a share, and I didn't. So we go back to our house, and I see this blackened looking thing, Mr. Popo, sitting on the screen. I wanted to feel some type of way, but up until that point, with everything I just told y'all, I've been made to feel more like a superhero than a nig. Like, I was accepted everywhere. I was wanted to be everywhere, and I was not made to feel lesser than. So when I went back on base and I had a true distinction of the difference from how I was treated one place to another, it's different. And like I said, I go see my grandparents and my grandparents in the Caribbean, and it does something to you to see an entire street of black people that have businesses. Straight up. Like, I'm sitting on the front stoop of my grandmama's house, my uncle's, birth home, and I'm sitting on the steps, and it's like the main street, and I'm watching black people all day just do commerce. My grandmother sold Fanta out the side door. She was a hustler. That's where I got my grind for. Like, my grind comes from my grandma, because she took whatever little bit of government money my granddad got, and she flipped it. She made food, sold Fanta. So then I end up about to marry a chef, should be no damn, it should be no surprise. I was going to marry a hustler of food. Because I respected my grandparents. I respected my grandfather. He had a blessed name, so I got to look at that whole life. I've got to look at that whole existence and really be honest and say, if I understand what I am and I understand what I was, and then my brothers saw that and brought it back out, like for real, for real. Like, look at this. Look at this queen. They be getting rollers. You serious, bruh? Man, come on. Where were these in school when I was in school, man? So, what do I say all that? What the hell does any of that crap have to do with anything? Here's what it means is that if you understand that you aren't what they told you were, and there is a systematic situation popping the hell off in which they want to change. Right? And if you don't understand what exactly that is, then you're going to have problems understanding your beast. The beast ain't the one on your shoulder that tells you to do the stupid ish you do that goes against principle. The beast, you do not wrestle against flesh, but of principalities on high in spiritual places. But at the same time, they are also trying to destroy the physical one. They want to get your physical one and destroy your physical one, your shell. So today's talk is about the beast. Where did this come from? As I told you, in that addict, reading that Bible over and over, the only thing that made sense in the world was that book. It made sense to me. It made sense why everybody was acting stupid. I could look at the nation I lived in and see Babylon. Easy. Like, that was easy math as a kid. Easy math. And then I'm at a Lutheran church, right? As an altar boy, right? To sin like a mug, because the first two laws are getting broken with the stained glass rituals where you circumnavigate the entire building just like the Catholics do, and you give reverence to these pieces of glass on a wall. And I broke it down and was like, oh, wait, if rocks turn to sand, because it's in the scripture, and sand can get turned to glass, and glass can have images on it, well, damn, don't have another God and don't worship no image. And there you're worshiping images. You're breaking the first two right off rip. I can't trust nothing you tell me now, because off rip, my nigga, you upped all the way. You effed up all the way. You can't even get to the first two, bruh. Really, bruh. And then want to call me a heretic. And then a nun, when I told her, they finally I walked the path of getting confirmation in Catholicism, because you have to be baptized and you have to go through confirmation before you can get married in a church. First things first, bruh. I don't even care about that no more. That ain't never gonna happen. Not happening, Captain. Because y'all y'all breaking your first two. You did the same thing. You teaching me all this other stuff, and then don't call nobody else father. Really? What do you call your pope? Huh? Okay. So that's why I don't listen to that niche neither. So today's talk is what led me to where I am right now, why I'm in tech the way I'm in tech, and what I'm going to warn you is coming, whether or not you want to understand it or you think I'm on some spooky shit. My nigga, this is real simple. This is Sabbath talk today. I don't have to be nice. I can just be straight down the point with this one. As a businessman, I don't care if my clients don't like this talk. It is not for them. Judge me on my character. I'm trying to walk the word. You should be too. So let's start with where I was going to start today And I'm just going to show you how I started it. So, where is it? Right here. When I first started programming, I was working at Citibank. My boss had been usurped by a new boss. So, because this new boss was a programmer from another bank, and that bank had been acquired, and they came in with all their the highfalutin guys that they could bring in. Well, he made everybody transform to what he wanted. If you did not know how to program, you are going to either figure it out or you are going to get up out of that building. Period. He was going to rebuild his entire organization to be a programming thing. And we don't need a bunch of web designers. So one of the guys that got hired beneath me as a temp was my boy Raja. I'm still friends with him to this day. And Raja was the one that told me about how to start making money online. He literally physically showed me how to do it. We'll talk about that in a bit. So I knew Raja was safe, and I knew he was going to get hired because he was already programming and he could show them his programs and he could lead doing what this guy wanted in a fast way. So he was guaranteed his position. Now me, I'm a guy that just knew HTML and knew how to use Photoshop. That ain't going to help me in this pocket. So I knew I was on thin ice. But it wasn't until my boss basically was escorted out the building. I didn't even know. Like in the morning, his breakfast was sitting on the desk. We're getting ready to go to lunch. His breakfast still sitting on the desk. I was like, yo, where the hell's Mark? He didn't even have his breakfast yet. He's in a meeting. He's like, oh no, they escorted him out the building. I was like, wait. Why did they escort him out the building? He's like, well, they just let him go. But what did he do? Nothing. That for everything that I was told to get into my job, that my family said, you got to make $50,000. Why are you on a computer playing around if you're not doing it? All right, so I went and got a job so I could shut them up. And I went and got one. They said if I got into a bank, I'd have a safe and secure job. You can't get more safe and secure than a private bank. Like my clients' net worth assets are $5 million and up. You can't get no more safe and secure. And I don't feel safe and secure because the person that hired me was let the hell out the door. And why the hell am I here? One, I'm cheaper. And two, I was picking it up a little. I knew because I had no education. I wasn't a college kid. I can't sit there and have the same kind of energy like, well, that's below me. I'm not doing that. Okay, I can't have that same thing. I can't have that same ideal. I got to be like, yo, this job is not guaranteed as much as it used to be. And that's why when I made the decision to go to Macon, Georgia, I made that. I had enough. I knew my job was shaky. I started saving money. I saved enough money to have a few months of salary to be in Georgia to give me at least 3 months to kind of get into some type of swim lane of some type of like, hey, I'll get down there. We'll do some production. We'll try to shop that in like one of their studios. I know we should be able to get in there with our talent because we were coming in with 2 other producers. And at the time, somebody I considered a brother who was in the nation of Moors was with the Nawapian Nation. Like he had his contacts. So I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be going down when we get down there. I got down to Macon. So we get to Macon. We're in a place called Milledgeville. And I'm like, there's no way I'm building my studio here. Right? No disrespect to Milledgeville. It's a rough place. But at the same time, I didn't want to fight that while having to maintain trying to do a business. And we weren't near nothing for me to really say, hey, I've got a fallback plan just in case we don't make. And I didn't see any music. Like I didn't see any real, like, yeah, you'd be closer to this temple you want to be at, but that ain't going to help us long term. So I said, look, we got to find someplace else. I got on my laptop. I could kind of connect to the internet and was able to get some information about Macon. And then we headed out there. And then using the fact that, again, I told y'all, PayPal became my bank account, right? I still had my Citibank account for being a Citibank employee, but because I had that PayPal bank account and because I was able to make deposits in that PayPal bank account on a consistent basis for doing work for myself, it looked like I had income. And then I could show the rental office this PayPal slip, and they took it immediately and gave me an apartment. Lesson. That's why I say y'all got to look at this business different as far as what you see this technology is. Y'all look at crypto like it's a cash grab. No, crypto is an entire industry, y'all. Y'all just went through the Web 2.0 industry. That's PayPal, Cash App, all that shit you see right now was Web 2.0. You are now getting Web 3.0. And we just got started. We just got started. Wait till the next halving cycle. Wait till you see what happens then. Right now, people got to figure out how to make money with this technology. So while I'm at making, we're building out and doing all our other stuff. Now, I'm skipping part of what I did at Citibank to go into this next thing because this cycles back around to me figuring these screens. You see, because I learned PHP, and in learning PHP, I had to do the same thing in PHP for some files that I had to do when I was working with Perl and CGI script. And that's what you see on the screen right now, is that if you want something writable by the system, and anybody that fills out a form, anybody on the web, so that it can execute and be read, then you take that file, you do what's called change modification. And with that change modification, you can make it 777. It basically makes it world writable, readable, and executable. Anything can write to it, read to it. So like things like guest books back in the day would make use of that mostly. We don't do that much anymore because most of it's only like cache files, cached HTML that can be seen by people. Like, so those things will get those permissions that anybody can potentially see. But even then, we kind of restrict certain things. But if I wanted to make a configuration file, and that configuration file should not be executed by the system, by the owner, by a group, or by the public. You only readable and writable, but it can't execute, so no executable programming. You changed it to 666. Real simple. Let he who have understand like what's being said to the churches. It's supposed to be as simple as a child to understand what's coming. So I'm trying to make it as simple for you because it's not that complex. And once you get what's coming, it's real simple to kind of ride around it. So once I realized, and this is the chill that ran down my spine when I realized what was actually the beast, was a hardware machine, a machine that could store data, a Unix-based machine, anything that could do this chmod command. With Windows 11, every single machine now on the planet has a Unix or Linux subsystem, which now can do change mods of 666. You can run Android natively on Windows now. It's because all machines now are Unix-based. You got Apple, welcome. You have it on both your phone and on your desktop. Your Windows, well, you have it, welcome. You have subsystem Linux. It's now fully integrated into the system. It went out of beta already. It's been on there for the last 2.5 years, getting ready for launch, and it's launched. You got Android, you got it too. Use Chrome OS, you got it too. So every single one of them got it. Let he who have understanding calculate the number of this machine, and its number has 666 on it. The same number as man, which our body has 666 in it. All right. So there you go. It's real simple, not hard. Okay. So I came out today and decided I was gonna, I remembered something about a beast machine. Now I know it was a rumor that there was a machine and called the beast back in the days of server farms. Like back in the days of like the big servers that used to be big buildings back in I guess the 50s and 60s when they were first coming up with these machines. But then what I saw when I just put it in Google, for those of you that aren't looking at the screen, is I have beast machines, and then what comes up is transformers. Now we're going to come back to this again in a later screen, but I want you to take again a gander that transformers are my childhood had a thing called beast machines. All right. So then I went beast machines, and then in one of those results, when I was looking for images, I ended up seeing this. And I guess in Yu-Gi-Oh! Japan type beats on Windows 10 too. Nah, Danye, Windows 10. Well, yeah, you could put it on Windows 10. Yes, it's been on Windows 10. It actually was in beta for Windows 10. So I don't know if it's been built directly into your Windows 10, but then you wouldn't want to hold Windows 10 for too long because guess what happens? Security breaches, right? So if you, at some certain point in time, your operating system would no longer be underneath their protection, so you would have to upgrade. So you're not going to get around it, man. So it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Why? Every single machine and server that you are on, that in the entire world is a Linux machine. So you would have to stop using the entire internet type beats. Like literally, every web page that loads is 80-something%, 90-something%, all Linux or Unix. It's the largest, like WordPress is sitting on Unix and Linux machines. Anything that runs Node.js is Linux and Unix. Yeah, I mean that's why they keep doing that. They force you into upgrades because they allow. Do you know who gave China the computers? Bill did. Bill gave China all those computers because he wanted to beat Apple, because Apple refused to give Bill carte blanche to license the operating system that Apple stole from Xerox. The GUI and all that clickety shit didn't come from Steve Jobs. He stole it from Xerox. If you watch Pirates of Silicon Valley, you'll learn that. They're all pirates, y'all. Like literally, they steal everything, and we and then look for some damn validation and godlike idolatry. Like that's why we got to stop worshiping idols. We've just got to stop worshiping idols. They're all wannabe idols. They look at Bay now. She got a church down wherever, and the church got a priest in it. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of their law, but not mine. But anyway, in Yu-Gi-Oh, they've got Beast Machine King Barbaros. Barber. Wait a minute. Barber, that's some more ish, right? Barbados, Barber. The Barber people, Barber, Tartar. Okay. Beast Barbaros, King Barbaros. Right? So that showed up. I just wanted to show you that and it's a lion. That's the funny thing, right? He looks like a lion. The King of Barbers is a lion from Zion. Okay. Wow, boy, our brothers in Japan be trying to tell us some ish all the time. I gotta love my Japanese brothers. Their spirit calls out to us and we just don't be hearing. Anyway, so I had to try to get deeper because I didn't want to get lost in the sauce. So I wanted to make sure I said, look, give me something like the computer that's called the Beast. Now, there's a few things that popped up, and you can see I have a few things here that I've clicked on. We'll get to some of those. They're down here. But one of the things I found was this. Sansu Tool 666 The Beast, a vintage AM FM tuner in mint condition. AM FM. So we're dealing with, back in the days, they had an AM FM radio called The Beast, already a machine, already that had wavelengths, vibrations, tuning, things you could tune in to, right? The same way as tuning into vibrations and spirits. But they had a machine that you put into your home called the Beast that brought things into your home. Got it. Technology. Got it. There was a typewriter by Remington. There was a show called Remington Steel back in the day. It's funny how they want to put it right in your face. So there was a Remington 666 typewriter. If you wanted to free form your thoughts, you now had a typing instrument that you could just basically zen out. If you just knew how to use this key structure, you could zen out and just do automatic writing on a new level. It's funny how they do that. And it works so well. Look at the keyboards all across the world now. All of the writing that can be automated, automatic writing. And now you've got the writing from voice to text that can just get the words out of your spirit until they put the shits in the head and everything just comes right on out, right? So, boom, typewriter, the Beast, right? The Beast. Number of the Beast found in Revelations. Remington. So, typewriter. A device, a AM, FM radio waves, wavelength machine called the Beast. A typewriter called the Beast. A typewriter with a wavelength machine built in is your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Just want to piece it together because this ain't me doing it. I told you, I don't know where this is going. It's just real simple that it all shows up when you start asking the right questions. So, boom. We go to an article in 2012 in which the brain of the Beast, Google reveals the computers behind the cloud. And as I said, the cloud is a fancy way of them to say servers, no different than blockchain is a fancy way to say databases. Same. It's just a database. It's just hella expensive right now. It's not profitable for me to even worry about those databases because the databases we currently have now are smart. You know, Xano, like I showed you, a programmable database. I can now program a database without the need for the other side or the UI yet. I can program my machine to gather data, and store conditional data based off of algorithmic equations. I can create my own machines. I just don't want them to be beasts, but you know, you are piggybacking off of the tech. So this is their Beast brain. Google's just one of them. IP addresses have gone to the 6th level of the IP address juncture. IP address 666 of the Beast. There's a video on it where the guy goes over slides that I've gone over. His slides are online, so if you put IP 666 address the Beast, you'll see there's some PDFs for it. And they go through the IP address, specific protocols. All of this is there. There's a slide for it. And he goes through everything in this.
Nibbles and
right, identifying aliases, IP server 666 scan loops, right? So the technology for IP addresses has also got 666 written on it. Oh, and I didn't even put this in yet. IP addresses as well as the 6-letter of the Hebrew alphabet is Vav or double Vav or www, World Wide Web. Let he who have understand what's being said to the churches. And right? www, World Wide Web. The Beast is of the number of man. And they made sure to make all the tech follow scripture. Or scripture happens to follow the scripture. I mean, the physical follows it unadulteratedly. Either or, it still converges to the same point. You're not able to buy or sell without the mark, Dutch mark, money of the machine. Can you now buy or sell without the money of machines? Real simple. No spooky shit. Real talk. Just straight down the top. Just straight down the line. Gut check. Do you now make any purchases without a machine? Even if you buy and trade stocks online, you're trading it through a machine. You're trading it through IP addresses. Nobody can buy or sell already without it. Really. Look at what's happened this pandemic with Rona. Zoom and all these internet-based companies are taking the forefront. These internet-based companies were always going to take the forefront because the analog has been dying since the 1990s. Since tech has been introduced, it's done nothing but destroy analog job flow. Because it can do all of the shit, like we do nothing but repetitive shit. Once you do it once, it's repeatable for the most part. So look at construction. Don't you think a robot could do what we do? Well, now they're proving it. It can. Homes are going to be built by robots. Cars are already built by robots. God, Elon, right? Now, I'm not even going to deal with the fact that there's a lot of stuff with Mr. Elon that's got his name written off of everything that puts an artificial intelligence in your head. And nobody wants to hear that part, right? When the artificial intelligence goes into your head, in the chip in your head, and if you don't follow Yeshua, you'll never understand what the temple of God is. You know, you call him Jesus, but then you also blaspheme his name everywhere. He'll accept it if you come in the spirit of what he came with, but not if you're just riding coattails. Yet from me, I do not know you. Man, that's some cold shit to say. Nigga, I don't know you. Damn. For real. Like, think about that. How, like, he's not coming back nice, right? He's coming back angry. Wrath, fury, all that ish. Nigga, I don't know you. Get away from me, yo. Back up. I just keep it real funky, dog. They got the okie doke getting ready to hit folk, and that's why I'm just not hit for the BS without saying something. And the funny thing is, if you listen to my, because I was in a different place when I did any of those songs. And I've been like, yo, let me listen to my stuff again, and then I see bits of the makeup of everything we're talking about over the last year. The change is, y'all, now it's all in front of our face. Everything that you thought was some spooky-ish is right in front of your face. When you were a kid and it was just too unbelievable because they fed some Santa Claus crap to mess up faith. Satan's claws to mess up faith. Santa Claus, anagram. They use that to flip it on you. And flip it on us. How are you going to believe some other spooky-ish? But at the same time, it's not spooky-ish. It's just like, yo, I am the alpha, omega, alpha, omega, alpha, omega. The 1 and the 0, the 1 and the 0, and the 1 and the 0. Like, this is binary. You are nothing more than a core program. Like, understand, your DNA is a programming language, right? It's a programming language. Like, MNRA is programmed. We know this. I'm not going through all that. Watch the other videos. So you're dealing with a programming language that holds water together, and water walks in a physical world held together. Think about that shit. Like, no. Let's break that shit back down again. If you take a piece of your wall and analyze it in an electron microscope, you see nothing but light. Nothing but light. Light is a programming language that can hold itself together with water and physically move a structure within, again, its own water and weight and calculations. Your bone mass, the shell of the home. That's why Father loved carpenters. He loved builders, because he's like, your house can't move, mine does. Like, that's a cold stunt. Like, Father stunts on us. Like, that's a stunt, brother. Stunt hard. Come on, man. So we got to keep this simple. This Sephardic shit, like real simple-ish. So if you see that they're not going to not go to technology. This is not a not thing. Like, you're not going back to analog. They don't want it, nor does the system at this point. Because understand, the system pays taxes now. She's making NFTs now. Hold on. SOPHIA NFTs. She making $1 million in NFTs. December, Binance NFT. The collection is limited edition, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to this. Yeah, I got it, whatever. 20 NFTs made by Sophia. Sophia Middle East. AI, being AI intelligence level, being AI, Althea AI. This is not Sophia. I don't think it's the same. Yeah, no, that's not Sophia. That's Althea AI. They trying to pillage off of Sophia, the Cardano robot. Here we go, February 2022. Sophia the robot. Prehistory by Sophia. Yeah, that's more like what I was talking about. Sophia verse. Singularity.net. Sophia DAO. Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Right? How much does she make? News. Intelligent NFTs. That's December 2021. I think it was. Fetch over $1 million. Sophia the Robot's NFTs. Her. Same Sophia that pays taxes in Saudi Arabia. Hope I spelled that right. 2017. So after the last halving cycle, which was 2016, the last halving cycle prior to the 2020 cycle run was 2016. So in 2017, she was given Saudi Arabian citizenship. This is before the collapse of 2018. This year, this halving cycle, not this year, but this halving cycle, she got NFTs. She made cash flow. She netted over $1 million to pay taxes. She's now working as a nurse in multiple areas. Stop playing. Boom. Right? They got her getting ready to do nursing stuff. She's an ambassador, y'all. She got ambassadorship. I know I'm probably butchering that too. Yes, I am. Right? Innovation ambassador. No. No. I work as a robot ambassador. December 2019. I could have sworn they gave her a an ambassador as well. I could believe. First Lady in 2019 meets Sophia, right? Egypt going to meet Sophia? Okay. So I just want you to understand that the machines are already getting taxes taken care of. They're already getting citizenship. Now, there's also this beast is untangling religion, right? They can do millions of the beast is a $55,000 computer. They had custom built. The beast came from a grant, so got some free money from John Stapleton Foundation, as well as from the Norwegian government research council. So the Norwegian government is buying computers called the Beast in America. Huh? To analyze people's reaction to terrifying events. So it's also looking at biblical physical events. This is from, again, 2017. Right? So I told you we're going to come back to this beast machine thing and come back to transformers. There's a reason I wanted to come back to beast machines and transformers, because artificial intelligence, there's a thing called transformers. Transformers take over, will Transformers, this is 2022, will Transformers take over artificial intelligence? Transformer machine learning model. Here we go. So this way you understand that transformers are already here. A transformer is a deep learning model that adopts the mechanism of self-attention. In the last days, they will be lovers of themselves. I didn't do this on purpose. I just happened to look at Wiki, and all of a sudden, sitting right there. Just discernment is a mug, bro. Different. So self-attention, differentially weighting the significance of each part of the input. So basically, being able to differentiate, to see the differences, and how to weight or make judgments of the significance of any data that's coming in to the system. So it weights it on its own. It's logically picking out sense from nonsense. It is used primarily in the fields of natural language processing, being able to naturally process your language as a normal person, and computer vision, being able to see things, pictures, images, and calculate the weight and balance of what looks alike and what doesn't look alike, all of that stuff. So it can listen to you and understand you and see your world and discern birds are birds, people are people, brown is brown, white is white, a car is a car, a boat is a boat. And then we give them this learning model. So when you're going on the web and all of a sudden you get this thing to say you need to check this image and and grab the street lights in that image, what you're doing is you're programming an artificial intelligence by clicking on the areas that you see those lights at, and it's a learning model. That data is then given to governments and everything else. They sell it to them. They're selling these learning models to them to help the artificial intelligence. That is how a lot of these companies make their money, not just your privacy, but also what you give up. Google is the biggest one to be able to create these learning vision models by making you log through that language core. Like recurrent neural networks, or RNNs, transformers are designed to handle sequential input data, such as natural language, basically things fall in a certain way, sentences fall in a certain way, paragraphs should have some kind of flow and meaning to them. For tasks such as translation, so being able to translate one thing to another, those words and patterns should still kind of flow and form. And text summarization, how would I summarize text? This is what one of the things I showed you in the last video of when you can hook the Xano to OpenAI and it can write text on your behalf. I showed you that in the Discord room, right here. If you go over to Coder Gang, role-based authorization in Xano, and build a backend using OpenAI, or basically be able to have some data that OpenAI will get from, pull some keyword data and write something. So I could give it some description text and it can summarize an article for me. Or I can copy and paste and say, go to this article, get this information, and write a summary of this whole article so I can use it as a summation. Give me 150 words or less. So that I can now give that to a system like as a text message or a Twitter message, right? However, unlike RNNs, transformers do not necessarily process the data in order. Rather, the attention mechanism, so it can have attention, provides context. It has attention and context for any position in the input sequence. In other words, if it's able to just scan really fast like you can, all of a sudden you can pick up particular things and get a summation of what it's talking about in a fast way. The way you can scan a document and get a summary of it. If the input data is a natural language sentence, again, see, we're going right into the sentence, the transformer does not need to process the beginning of the sentence before the end. Rather, it identifies the context that confers meaning to each word in the sentence. Transformers, beast machines, AI inside a machine, logically building itself. Lest no flesh be safe. Matthew 24:22. That all of this would come to pass, but it would have to be stopped, lest no flesh be saved. I put safe because that was what was in my mental Rolodex, just as a summarization, like shit, not one piece of flesh is gonna be safe out here, but saved. Like there's no retention. It's funny how the Bible sounds like a programming language. Images do not corrupt your image, hardware, your data. Image, data, hard drive. What does data look like on a hard drive? Disk imaging is the process of creating a byte-by-byte archive of a hard drive, producing a compressed file of your drive, much like a zip file, although typically served as an ISO, blah, 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 blah. Do not corrupt your image. DNA programming. Ones and zeros. I am the alpha omega, the alpha omega. How the DNA computer program makes you and me. The DNA computer program. They're sitting there in 2018 telling everybody. DNA computer is an emerging branch of computing which uses DNA, biochemistry, and molecular biology hardware. You are hard physical ware. Implantation for software code. Your shell is programmable, but it moves. Come on, man. I am the one and the zero, the one and the zero, the one and the zero, the Alpha and Omega. All to tell you that what was going to happen to you let he who have understanding. I watch a beast rise out of the sea of man, and on its lips blasphemy, and its number 666. It will be inside the temple of God, proclaiming itself God. Huh? What is going in? If you don't accept Yeshua Yamashiach, you have absolutely no idea what the temple of God is. That would be Jesus for those in the Christian seats that ain't Torah'd up. Destroy this temple in 3 days, it'll be rebuilt. That is all Yeshua wanted to come across as. He didn't come here to start no wars. That's why Judas was pissed. Because he felt the king was going to come here, and he's like, no, I'm not here to shed blood. I'm not here to shed the blood of others. I'm here to shed my blood. I am the lamb. Now, it's just an understanding that, look, I need y'all to understand what the hell a temple is. Like, that is the simple as a child thing that our king could do. Which was, let me just explain to you that this is a temple. Destroy it, it comes back. Okay, I'm back. I'm gone. I change. Let's go. So then, and only then, and a time in which all of this would come to pass, we would see it. There would be a being that'll lull people to the machine. Somebody anti-Christos, or against the thought pattern of Christ, that you're not supposed to try to become God, because you already are. Type beats. But not for the egotistical, because you weren't here when everything was being created. Like, you weren't the original fucking programmer. Like, stop playing. You are not the original. But it's only an egotistical bastard that wants to be. And hence, where are we at right now? The biggest egotistical bastard got us all feeling we do as we want. We can have everything in the world. And yeah, you can. But I will pull those that love me up out of this server, Earth, and move them into another server, Earth. Right? Now it makes sense. Does it click now? I'm going to pull you out of this machine and put you in a new machine. You can call it Earth, whatever. But just know I'm going to don't corrupt your image, because you mess up your image, I can't pull you out. You know, Matrix type beats. Yes, I let them make the Matrix so you could understand that, yeah, that red pill's going to jog your shit, but at the same time, maybe you should have stayed with the blue one. And all they're going to do is rage and rage and rage, because they'll finally have what they want. Like, they ain't got to worry about pops messing with and meddling in their affairs. No more. Think about a world in which the most spoiled bastard kid has access to everybody that wanted to be with that spoiled bastard kid, but now that he has them all, he's still not happy. Imagine the world that rage, now that father's not even going to listen no more. He's not going to listen. Do you understand the rage that's going to be lashed out against everybody else in that little pool? Ugh, man, I don't want no parts of that, y'all. All because we want to keep this thing that has a timeline, because the code was already destroying itself in the introduction of the new programming language that had us seeing all the things we weren't supposed to be seeing. The data we weren't supposed to ingest, we got infected by a virus, and that virus started decaying all of our binary. Now, if you want to stay here, you can, but you're going to be dealing with demented people. Their codes are going to keep skipping, keep skipping, keep skipping. Like, it gets ugly. They showed some of that, and I'm not trying to do no spoilers, because I'm not trying to do no spoilers, but that understanding is also in the HBO show or Showtime show. What's the one with the AIs? Westworld. Westworld has that thought process. What up, RTP? That whole thought process is part of Westworld. With them, what happens when you try to download and store this information, this data? How do you create a human? How do you create a human that its bits don't get corrupted or don't go crazy and don't go nutso? And then you see all these weirdos with their ticks and you're wondering if they're non-playable character now. But like I said, Yeshua was only here to just prove one thing, what a temple was, so that you would understand what was going to be inside the temple of God, proclaiming itself God. And who was going to lead you there. He happened to make PayPal. He happens to put principalities or assets in the air, satellites. Wi-Fi, hardware, all of it at his disposal. He loves C++. Potentially, he may have had some assets to dealing with creating Bitcoin. Which wouldn't be too much out of his wheelhouse, since he created something called X, which then became PayPal X, which then just became PayPal. X was supposed to be a distributed ledger technology language. So when you see him touching something like a Dogecoin, it's just network power, y'all. He's just buying network power, trying to lead the technology wherever it goes, but he owns that Bitcoin. Because you also have, again, another network being built. The lightning, fall from the sky like lightning type beats. I talk about crypto. I talk about business. I talk about all of that as a way to say it's an ends to a means at this point. Because you got no analog. I want one of y'all to show me where the analog is. I'll wait. Like, I've been looking for it my damn self. It makes no sense to me to buy a business right now because I watch every single business has begun to stop funding. They're going to start laying people off, y'all. I'm already starting to see the default rates go up on homes as more and more businesses are cutting salaries again. So banks are letting go because they can automate it all. They're closing down branches because they can automate it all. Everybody's going to chip. Hold on one second. I'll head over at 3:30. So everything that I'm doing now is preparing y'all. How do you navigate through these waters that be like commerce? We got to get back to that. Because, all right, here's my annoyance. I want to get back to Sabbath Talks, right? Here's my annoyance is that all of the talk that's going on in the world, the wars and rumors of wars and all this shit, my cons, KHANs, my kings, since we have a king of kings. Who's making that decision for us? let's not forget that this new world order had already ran over the old one, which was the one I showed you where, our faces were all on the walls. Right? This was the old world order. Okay? The old world got a new one. Now, this new one wants to do some weirdo shit and stick shit in their head and have this thing for them. But who made that decision for you? People want to hate, quote unquote, America. But who makes those representations for you? Like, are they really speaking for you? You? Really? They speak for you. I don't speak for me. I didn't ask for none of this crap. I don't want none of this crap. So what am I going to do about it? Well, the only thing we don't got no commerce. We can't make no world stage decisions. Where's your money at? Huh? Where's your lobbyist at? Do you have a lobby? If you don't have a lobby, you can't talk to politicians. They want to be bought. They feel it's in their right to be purchased. So what assets do you hold? How do you hold them? How much interest are they bearing? This is just some Sephardic shit we got to get back into. Like, don't say more, yet not want more. Like, who were they? Who were these flossy folks? Like, come on, look at her. She looked like my cousin Claire. Shout out to my cousin Claire. Look at this dude. We some flossy folks. Like, dude, come on. Are you serious? Come on. Come on. Come on. Really? This is why we had to get some yolks of iron on our asses. For real, for real. Now, I'm not saying we need to go back to this because we're already here, and that's the problem. We're back to this shit. Without any of the actual restraint, without any anything that had any kind of balancement that kind of kept us in line with some type of principality. Like, we lost the other 2/5. So get it back. All right, you already got this. This language is your language. It's a derivative of your language. So let's not be cute and clamorous. What you need to get back is your being, your state of being, your understanding that we're under maritime waters. We've always been under maritime waters. All of these legal systems and all that ish, they did not create these things, and they don't know how to maintain them. They never did. Who taught them to bathe themselves? All right, I'm just saying. This looks like my homeboy Mike from Macon. That's why I'm like, yo, everything's been walking me back. Every time I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back. Swaggy with the gold thing right here. Swaggy. Come on, man. Come on, man. Look at this. Come on, man. Samurai. Come on, man. Look at him. You can't go nowhere and not find us. There ain't nowhere we ain't. Let me say that again. There ain't nowhere we ain't. There ain't nowhere we ain't. Black Germany. Come on, man. Burn, 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 burn. Black Europeans in the Renaissance. Renaissance. Who got that? Who got that there? Who got that? Who got that there? Who got that feather in here? Oh, okay. Okay. You know them leaves and feathers. Them feathers and leaves. Yeah. Dutch, Brazil. Dutch. Black Dutch. Boom, 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 boom. The Black Romans. The Moorish nobles of Rome and their artifacts. Rome had Greece. Roman bronze. Roman bronze. Hate to see it. Hate to see it, but I'm also happy to see it. Look at this. Come on, man. Come on, man. Round table type beats. And you really had something else in his hand, a staff or something that they done stolen, whatever. You know what I mean? I just need y'all to I put this up because I need y'all to understand, man. This game has to change up. Our thought process has to change up. Everything that was at Tulsa has to at some point come back. That means control of assets. That's what they were pissed about. That's what we're scared to own. But they digitized these damn assets. Now you're digitizing them without a face, a front-facing face, right? We're not walking around like, y'all, they're going to put everything on ledgers soon. Those ledgers will be able to be purchased with contracts. Those contracts will be digitized. Everything on in every country will be contractual. It means pretty soon there would be a contract with you to be able to negotiate your music and media services across the entire world directly with any population, without the intervention of any of these suckers. Because you can go right to the games and put your music inside of them, or into these virtual worlds and put them inside of them. And then those spill out to the physical realm because you, of course, have made sure to upload your stuff via CD Baby so that you get your royalties. And then as they, just like I did, have nostalgia for when they played a virtual game and heard your music and then came out of their virtual world looking for you, they'll find you. Either your beats or that artist that your beat is on. Then it's up to you to just make sure there's enough locations for them to find you. But we gonna come back. But now it's how do we? How? Look, we don't even have the guns they got, so we can't even think about them types of fights. And as you saw, they just shot a shot across the bow of what the new warfare is. It's an economic one. And hasn't that what it's always been? Didn't they burn down the towns? Didn't they burn down the libraries? Didn't they burn down the banks and the ledgers so that all the debt that we were collecting on them was purged? Raid the vaults and steal the gold before they got rid of the gold standards, and then now so then it didn't even matter. Then they didn't even hold up their gold standard, so they went to an oil standard. Now they can't hold their oil standard, y'all, because they refuse to manufacture shit. They don't create shit. They don't produce shit. Are you serious? How the hell you have an economy but you don't produce nothing? You don't have an economy because you don't produce nothing. And you can only piggyback off the backs of your quote-unquote slaves until they no longer want you the hell there, and they give you just enough to keep you off their back. But how long is that shit gonna last? So I just tell you to be careful out on these streets. Understand digital. I'm not playing the game, and this is the game. I'm not gonna go into it. I'm not going no deeper as far as into this game. But here's the game: your children will need to have a competitive edge. To have said competitive edge, they're going to need to have a brain chip put into their head so that they can keep up with the ones that have a brain chip in their head. In other words, it's an arms race. These people will be able to work at the middle of the night in their head and then get up and live their life never having to work. Why? Because for 8 hours, they were in a stasis sleep and worked an entire 8 hours. You will never be able to keep up with them. And they will just live their life, and they'll just go on trips and go on vacation because they're getting their credits for doing their work. Now, right now, I know that is a physical thing. That is going onto Fiverr, that's going into freelancer.com, that's going onto Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and promoting your services, or TikTok and trying to promote your services, right? Being able to use PayPal and Cash App and Venmo and all these things to generate some type of income, being able to take your zip files for your music and potentially try to sell those. But at some point in time, you're going to get tired. You're going to need to sleep. The difference is they go to sleep and work, and you will go to sleep to decompress from work, because then you still got 8 hours to go back to do work. They'll have 8 hours during their day to live their life. Until they get tired, go to sleep and work from their heads. That means there's absolutely no way to compete. Do you think you're going to be you think those CEOs that are doing that type of business and that type of scalability in their heads and all that other stuff, that kind of programming in their nexus of their mind, and with the AI assisted help, do you think you're going to keep up with that? He'll be able to run his business on a cybernetic level you'll never understand. Understanding data and seeing every piece of data at data bit level that you'll never be able to see and comprehend and process to do, like, you're not even going to innately be able to. And that is the jugs. People will want that level of competition. People will want the next level of these chips, and they will be in a race to end up in the future Borg. Star Trek told us all. I don't know if Star Trek is the past or the future, because you can see these beings all the way back on old walls. So it could be the past and the future, since time is irrelevant, in a nexus of ones and zeros in which the past and the future coalesce on one timeline, rewindable and fast forwardable to a being outside of its entire timeline. Because he's not inside the code having written the code. Like, that's how stupid we are. I'm going to beat God, but he wrote the code. My nigga. Like, for real. He can't be controlled by what he wrote. Like, think about that. How am I writing the code now to the world I work in? I write them from outside themselves. I close my computer. Those things don't infiltrate my dreams. Right? That's how stupid we are, because we don't understand the levels to this shit. But this is the game they want to play, and this is where it all ends. And artificial intelligence will be inside what Yeshua told us was the temple of God, proclaiming itself God. And that this thing had to stop lest no flesh be saved. Borg. No flesh. It won't be no physical flesh. There'll be carbon composites, synthetics. Boys call EJ. He's on a couple songs with me. EJ used to call people plastic people. He doesn't know how close to the truth he was, because now, because of all the stretchy pants, no disrespect, ladies, but we love you. We love us some stretchy pants now. Best believe y'all yoga pants, y'all workout pants. We love y'all yoga pants. But that is made out of plastic. And those microplastics are being inhaled now. They're in our water. They're in our food. They're in our oceans. These microfilaments are everywhere now, and we breathe them like there's nothing. And we wonder why we're getting all these cancers and all these things in our system, because we have so many blockages coming from so many things that we consume. Like, we literally drink plasticides from the containers that contain plastic. Literally, we're drinking and eating them. and don't think that that's going to have some type of effect later. They've been turning people into synths for years, and we play synthesizers. Tell you, musicians always get everything first. We got synths first. Now we'll become synths. We lost shelf space in the analog first because of Napster and all these other streaming places that we could download our music. Then video went. We lost stores. Like we lost not just shelf space, but we lost stores, complete stores that were just for music. Lost those to digital. Not coming back. What happened to video? Ask Blockbuster. We were the first loss leader asset. What would they call us? Broken, starving artists. We've always needed the help from those that had money to give us grants and revenue to survive. Y'all, all we have to do is continue to make music. Because somebody's going to buy it from some place that has money, because somebody's always got some damn money. It's just following which culture has the most of it. I'm telling you right now, it ain't us. We're into our eyeballs of debt. But when I was doing music and I was beginning to push my music forward, do you know the first thing one of my mentors told me? Don't even do that shit in America, my dude. Actually, if you're dealing with pop, this will be the last place because you got to spend so much money here. What you do is you go overseas, you go to Europe and you go to Japan and you go to China and you go there and you make your money and you make way much more money over there and then bring that money to market in America. What are we doing now as hip hop? We're trying to fight for American money. Now you understand why we got to do 300-day tours. Like, my dude, I came back and I was like, wait a minute, wait. I just spent a year in Japan, my dude, and I made stupid guap. And you mean to tell me I'm now going to the Village in New York and I have to work for free? These clubs are not packed? What do you mean these clubs are not packed? I just left a packed club, and I didn't have to do shite. I was spoiled. I had 2 clubs in Hiroshima that I worked at. It was DJ Bar G, and I can't remember the second club. But I worked at 2 clubs, and I won battles at both clubs. Or won contest, or got stage contest position, where I was able to be on stage in a more consistent manner. And get paid, both locations. Like, can't tell me shit. But then I came back here and I was like, holy shit, you can't get in. Like, the ish you got to do to get in the music business, like, I could have easily got on a mixtape while I was over there. One of the largest DJs in Tokyo at the time, I can't remember his name, like, he heard me and he was like, yo, if you can stay in Japan and you can get to Tokyo, I got you. But I couldn't stay in Japan because I was too lazy for all that. I was too lazy to do the extra work to stay. Always telling myself, oh, I'll go back. I ain't been back. I'm going to, with father's permission, I may be able to get back over there, but we'll see. Between time, the music industry here, I watched it dry the hell up. And I also saw that it was going to be mad hard to get into this door out here without having to give up personality, give up your pride, give up your dignity. And I watched the other side of how Wayne, pain in the ass, okay, I've reloaded. I saw how he changed. I don't know what homeboy saw in there being around J&M. I know it affect how a Cat Williams being around that whole environment. We've all heard what Cat Williams had to say. And then because he said it, what they did to him. These weirdos run these weirdo things. And at the end of the day, look, you're messing with commerce at this point. Nobody can really say anything dope Nobody can really have any really dope expression, and you control, like, these weirdos don't even control their pockets right, but they want to control the commerce of our economy. Y'all, the only thing they do is take their money and invest it and want to spend ours. Into all our, like, oh, give me your tax money, give me your tax money. Oh, by the way, I'm going to give it to all my friends and make sure my friends, my lobby friends, are in position. These businesses are in position because y'all ain't paying me. And I'll sell out all of y'all's birthright because we don't own this anyway. Fourth generation of those that hate me type beats. Deuteronomy is a mug, y'all. Straight up, father was like, yo, it's by the fourth generation, them motherfuckers despise me. And then the entire society is going to fracture and break. Well, guess what? Here we are. By the fourth generation, everybody hates God or father. He out of everything. He ain't in school no more. He ain't in businesses no more. We can't even say in God you trust without somebody getting pissed. Okay. Is it better or worse? Huh? Doeth thou wilt. How's that working for you, right? Does it make you more happy? I've seen more people into drugs. I've seen them more hate themselves and loathe others and just destroy themselves. That worked out? No. These motherfuckers end up hanging themselves in the damn closet. No disrespect, but that's where they ended up. Because they couldn't have been so damn happy. Now you got fentanyl. Like in our time, let's not, Gen X, don't get twisted. We started the dumb-ish with that damn lean. Lean with it. Rock with it. Lean with it. Because that's all you could do when you were on that shit. Zombie. And then want to look at the next one that had their version. Well, before that, it was white lines going wounds of passion going through my mind. He's talking about cocaine. And all the while, I think of you. He's just singing love ballads to cocaine. So we've got to get off the ish that any generation got this ish right. Nobody got it right. Nobody's seemingly going to get it right because now everybody's just mad and lovers of themselves, right? Like I said, in the last days, people will be lovers of themselves. What do you call it when you hold a phone to your face and take a picture? Is it not called a selfie? Huh? Huh? Okay. Just saying. Just saying. I'm just, it's the Sephardic in me. I'm just, So at the end of the day, y'all, commerce. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Like, let's not even do the spooky version of that, which is you thinking that you actually have something and someplace else to be because your light never really diminishes, energy never dies, it just changes form. We're not going to deal with that, no, because got atheists out here thinking that they ain't going nowhere. But the thing is that you're still here. It's programming, y'all. You think programming is just going to dissipate? Really? But then we have all these disembodied energies that are still around. And we're told not to consort with them, Familiar spirits, like spirit, espiritu, right? Espiar, inspiration, inspire. Inspiration. What inspired you? Channeling. Like all these people are doing, like they're wearing their white out there cutting chickens. I'm not out here doing none of that. I'm out here just saying, peace be with y'all on this Sabbath, because these people are done lost their damn minds. What sacrifice are we supposed to be making? You're supposed to be circumcising your flesh. Like, you're supposed to be trimming you back. But that's only if you're following your king. But not everybody wants to deal with that. They don't want somebody ruling over them. But you can't even rule you. How's that working out? I mean, look at the world as if you don't want to look at yourself. These are the unruly, right? Unruled. Do out thou wilt. That's where the whole of their law. How many innocents are hurt in that transaction? How many children now believe that they are gods in their own head, have all the worldly things they want, and we think we're going to find peace and blessings from their minds when they become adults? We don't think they're just going to be another Kim K times 1,000? Because Kim K is nothing more than Marilyn Monroe, y'all. That same Marilyn Monroe energy, the same sex kitten energy. Huh? Playboy bunny. Huh? Same energy, same. These weirdos don't do nothing new under the sun. So where is that going to take you in commerce? How do you survive all the things we talked about? Understand that everything is going digital. Everything. If you're not programming your data and utilizing data to do some type of business transaction, creating your own ledgers, y'all, I'm not being cute and clamorous. MG will tell you. MG has a business in which you either give him Cash App or you give him Venmo or you give him PayPal. If you transact over his website, you can use credit card or PayPal. So I say unto you, he has his own ledger. It's just a PayPal ledger. In the future, he may have a wallet and he may say, here's my wallet address. And then he can get transactions directly to that wallet. That'll be Web3. Then he'll be transaction on a ledger. His business didn't change. He could still have a website. It could still take credit card transactions. Those credit card transactions just come through like Coinbase Commerce or that other payment service, bill pay, or crypto pay, bill pay, whatever, right? Crypto pay. And then you go through that and then boom. Or you go through your exchanges, right? So all these exchanges are going to do the same shit and try to become PayPal. PayPal's trying to keep PayPal, but PayPal's old. Hence why I'm watching Mr. Elon. Because the Pied Piper of technology is going to lead these people astray. And all you got to do is keep your eye on him. Because he's pretty much led the last few innovation revolutions of theft. Because he doesn't create anything. He just pillages it from the CEOs and gets them to quit. And then he just keeps working it. You can look at every single technology he's taken. I think the only thing that he actually created was PayPal. That he and his partners are actually working on was PayPal. They built that system. I don't believe they stole anybody's stuff there. But if you're looking at the Tesla car, it was owned by somebody else. If you're looking at the satellites going up in space, it was another company before he was there. Somebody else was running that before he was there. If you look at, of course, he's now using crypto. Well, it was somebody else's stuff, but he's just put his swag behind it. And now it's trying to tell these developers what to do with it. OpenAI, he worked with some people, got that rolling, then he walked away from it. Now Microsoft is holding it. The same Microsoft whose Bill Gates now owns farmland everywhere. When we're going through a crisis of farms and getting grains, we now have the guy that helped to spread his technology across the world in a Wuhan province. I'm going to leave it at that. And now in eating his technology in the coming months and years. Because he's been owning them since a couple years now. You're not going to escape this crap. The only thing we can do is then either find local sources of food, local farms. I put a link into this Discord cash lane for that. And invest in your local farms. Look locally. Look on Google and look for farms in your area. Look for eggs in your area. I know here in Atlanta, you can definitely find that. And you should be able to do that in most of your cities and states, hopefully. You might have to travel outside, especially if you're in like these metro cities. Come out of her. People are going to be looking at Babylon and saying, "Oh, how the mighty has fallen." Look at it, what people are saying about America right now. Oh, how the mighty has fallen and become the habitation of devils. One thing that I respect that Malcolm X had said to us was that we were the cog inside the machine, that we understood this system more than anybody else because it was built off our backs. Plymouth Rock didn't land on, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us type beats. Because again, he was talking about the fact that there was an old world that this new world had ran over. So now everybody else is so scared of this new world order. And I'm like, man, because we've been in the new world order. Like, it already been here for us. It seized all our property from us. It seized all our gold from us. It took away our towns from us. It took away, we have nothing. But we worried about a next new world order? Like, my niggas, we've already lost everything. Like, what else you got to give? Other than what they want now, which is your blood or your blood. I'm trying to be nice today. Want to destroy everything now because they want to say it's racism. No. You can't hide, Cletus. You can't hide. You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. We've got to remember the fact that we controlled commerce right now. Like, we need to start doing work with our peoples across waters. We have the access to that via the internet. We just don't never do nothing outside of worry about getting radio plays. Who the hell listens to radio? Like, I get in my car and I don't even listen to radio anymore. But you still want radio? For what? You don't even listen to it. If you do, what are you listening to? Is it the same programming over and over? It kind of reminds me of MTV, where it's the same programming over and over. Yeah, y'all, we're already in a cyclical loop with no new content, really. All of the new content's going into platforms, you know, Paramount Plus, Hulu Plus, Disney Plus. I told you, every one of these companies are now trying to be HBO and Cinemax, man. Everybody's a media company, y'all. So are you. It's just, do you actually have any damn media besides your fucking beat? Like, we're still just doing beats and thinking we got an economy? Are you serious? Are we still on that shit in 2022? Are we serious? Where the hell is the fucking usability? And I'm going to be straight down with you like that. Where is your utility? That's what you go to an effing label for, utility. They got nothing for you. So tell me, what's your game then? Since they got shit for you. They don't even give you a what's that called? The development deal no more. Like, you used to have a dev deal. In the time that I was coming up, there was a dev deal where they would actually put some money potentially behind you to kind of get you to come to the studio often. Well, now there's no freaking studio. One of the things I'm going to show y'all is stuff that I would have been showing producers when I was in the studio actually creating freaking songs. Like when you used to go in the studio, there was a songwriter. There was always a songwriter. And you'll see those clicks. Outkast and the Dungeon Family. You see those clicks with oh shit. The Atlanta click. The one that we were in black and white. I can't think about it. Anyway, regardless, everybody clicks up. And when you get into those clicks, you'll have songwriters there. And those songwriters, you could just watch their process. Now, we get some of it from Tory Lanez, a little bit of it, but I figured, I want to show you how you complete songs. Like, hey, I have an idea of a melody in my head. And that melody in my head has to now flip and become a hook. And then that hook has to then become verses. And then those verses, I have to do ad libs, and then I have to do the mixing, and then I have to do the mastering, and then I need to get it out or put it in a catalog. How do we create an album? How do you create a album of songs? How do you think about an album, right? Because most of y'all may not have been making albums when people actually made a whole album that had a complete fucking thought. Do you know that you used to make a whole album about a freaking complete thought? Like the whole album meant something. It wasn't one song after the other, after the other, after the other. You could do them, scramble them up, and it don't. No. From beginning to end, you created a playlist. You created a feeling and a vibe. If you look at my albums, they were a vibe. I spent maybe even a couple of weeks on just the structure of it while it's going through. Like this song, like as I'm listening to the album, as I'm building it out, which song needs to be first and where's the middle, and listening to it as a complete work of art. How did I start it? How did it end? Is there a way for it when you loop back over, like when an album used to loop, like a CD, you could just loop it, or you had a tape player that could play A side, then B side, and go back to A side and play that side? All right, so when you went back from A to the B side and then went back to the A side, the vibe never changed. Or if you went to the CD and the CD looped back on itself, the vibe never changed. Or if you listen to an album and the little arm was able to go back up, go back over, go back down, go back to the spot to the beginning and start all over again, you could get that damn vibe. The vibe didn't change. Now you can't do shit of that because nobody knows to do that anymore. That's why I want to bring it back. That way you can see it. And that's going to be like a sub thing that I'm doing as I build out my album in the next next month, probably. Because I need to get started. If I want it to be done by the end of the year. Even how you can calculate how to do an album, right? How I used to do it was, okay, what was the typical album track? I used to do 15 tracks. Hold on. Tragic. How many tracks did I do? Volume 1 had 15 tracks. Yep. And volume 2 had 15 tracks. I would do 15 freaking tracks. 15 tracks. Man, that's why I was tired. These people don't do that no more. And I ain't doing that no more. That was crucial. That's 2 albums. I ain't giving y'all, I'm giving 10 and 10, 12 and 12. But if you go through the beginning, the intro, like skits, like we used to do skits. Man, remember skits? Interludes? Remember when you had an interlude that you could like loop on itself and just chill and vibe out with? Like, this, I don't think it's a vibe out.
Yo, man, what's going on, man?
Shit, what's going on, man?
I ain't seen you in a minute, man.
Shit, yeah, man.
Look.
What's been up?
Nah, man, same old, man, you know? Excuse me, man. Look, hey, I'm trying to know on some real man.
Yeah, man. Remember that? Remember when you had interludes, y'all? Man, we ain't got no interludes no more. We ain't got nothing no more. Nothing. Like he's like RTP said, just endless damn singles now. Yeah, Busta Rhymes had some good skits. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. And Busta Rhymes also like him, he used to say about the it's extinction level event. Like he would be trying to tell us like things getting ready to be messed up. Extinction level event. And we had the extinction. There's only 5 years left. Counting down to the bull. Making any content that is utilized anymore. Like we're not making utilitized content. Like, okay, make a beat tape. Great. Put that beat tape out. Great. Got it. Now your instrumentals make money, right? Why? Listen to commercials and notice that you've got, I heard the other day a law firm commercial playing some teeny bopper music in the back end real light. Or some Billie Eilish-ish in the background real light. Right? It was something. It was one of those. I was like, what the hell did that song have to do with anything with this legal firm? But it didn't matter. It was just the instrumental. And they were just utilizing that energy on the back end, but they kept it light enough that you noticed it, but you didn't notice it. Subliminal programming. So I'm like, look, you got your songs, you've got your music, right? You take your instrumentals, you get them in CD Baby, you get them out. Now, if anybody takes that, it could be used for a commercial, done deal. Now you can move it to the next level, right? So now you're making more money on your royalties right now, right? Bam, you're now making your royalties. So you already got content done, you already got it mixed, you got it out. Now, you can give that damn song away if you want to and still make money. Because it would be a derivative of your art. And then the signature marks will pick up that it's a derivative because they may play the intro and bing, it gets hit up on the watermarking. Annie up. Oh man, that's everywhere. Here too. Here too. That energy is the energy of robbery. RTP. Love me some MOP. How about some hardcore? Yeah, we like it raw. How about some hardcore? Yeah, we like it raw. And Pharaoh Monch. Pharaoh Monch, man, I miss his production. I miss Pharaoh Monch's production. Pharaoh Monch is one of the sickest producers from Queens. Queensbred right here. Him and Large Professor. But yeah, Pharaoh Monch, man, he's the one that made me dig deeper into my production work. Because he was flipping tracks. So, but yeah, Annie up, jack that food. You want quick money, kidnap that fool. Like, what? See a nigga out there shouting, hey! Like, nigga, I will rob you. And yeah, they use that energy because they've been doing that to our culture. Like, that's literally what they're doing, y'all. It's a jack move. Like, think about it. You go to McDonald's, you pay for a meal, you don't get what you want, but you're back home already and you're not going to go back there. But because you don't really cook for yourself, you've got no choice but to get it again. To get treated the same exact way. But now, look at the world we got now. Now that service level is even worse than it was before. Now you really don't get what you want. Like, I stood in line yesterday at a damn Popeye's chicken for over an hour. In line in a car. At night. Because I didn't feel like cooking after making a damn delivery. And plus, they got these bomb-ass beignets right now. These wild berry beignets. Yeah! I still got to get off my sugar. Still got to get off this sugar, man. But y'all, this game, it's crazy what they're doing. It's crazy where they want this to go. It's messed up. Because, you know, right now I'm looking at the world and seeing how much, like, chicken is going to be more expensive. The fact that, you know, they are ready to drop this, the raise the interest rates to begin to shake out the market because there's too much money in the system. And now, you know, everybody's done cashed the hell out and got out. Right? Petro ruble means money is not, that means our dollar is not going to be transacting for the use of oil as it used to be. And now that oil will be sold to the countries that don't like us anyway. But again, is it us? It isn't me. Because just like I told y'all about Japan, it had, like, they were quick to tell me when I was there, yo, this ain't you. It's the people that control you, though. But they don't speak for me, but where's my voice in all of this, right? Where's your voice in all of this? Our brothers are everywhere. There's my UK brothers that are in the UK and ain't never left the UK, always been in the UK. You did not come from Africa. And you know that. You were there. In fact, we know that because there's Irish, black Irish in Jamaica that said they were pushed out. There's the Moors in the UK. Moors, Moors in the UK. Stop playing with me. There's the moors, and then it's like a wasteland now that's been flooded. You know, mud flood type beats. You know, in Georgia where they flooded the lake type beats. You know, in Tennessee where they flooded that lake type beats. Okay. You know, in California where they flooded that lake type beats. In Canada where they flooded them lakes type beats. Okay. I just want to keep going. We just keep having these floods everywhere. As MG was talking about, there was a freeze event. We forget about George Washington being on the Delaware and blocks of ice. That's how their asses walk the hell up over here. Messing with our ish. These food shortages are the shortages for the fact that they outsource shit, y'all. These suckers gave up everything to do absolutely nothing and live off of the assets. They stopped investing because they could easily piggyback off of assets. They're at that point, but that's, you know, the fourth turning. The fourth generation of those that hate me. What Pop was talking about. That you have somebody that works for it. He gets everything going. The first generation fights for it. The second generation gets handed it, kind of understands what it's about, but doesn't appreciate it because they didn't really earn it. Then the next generation really doesn't care because they never had to earn it. And then they're just like, it's owed to me. And then the fourth generation, well, it's I want more than what I'm supposed to have. And I'm going to take it by all means necessary and overstretch myself and overstretch my authority. Respect my authority. America's like Cartman. Respect my authority. No, nobody respects you anymore or respects y'all's authority. Now, me, they've been speaking for us because our black ass has been voting them in. Just a clapping in the congregation. Oh, thank you, Lord Biden. Thank you, God Biden, for taking everything. Same Pied Piper shit we had when we were dealing with Obama getting in the office. Same Pied Piper shit we had when the real Pied Piper, which was freaking Clinton, was playing his little saxophone on the damn Arsenio Hall show. Everybody forgot about that? That was the real Pied Piper. And gave you the Patriot Act. He literally gave you the Patriot Act. Obama created laws that could be taken away called net neutrality. You create these things and these structures, and then the next people, the Republicans, come in and flip it and now have all the tools they need to take away all those rights. It was the internet was the Wild West up until Obama. Nobody even understands that every time a Democrat's in office, you have to ask yourself what rights you're about to lose. And then when a Republican gets in office, what rights are they now going to enact that you lost? I can't go back to the peanut farmer, which is Carter. I don't know what he signed over, but I can only give you what, which might have been the whole gold thing, because I might have been on his watch, right? It might have been gold on his watch, and Reagan being able to push this whole stock thing on his watch from to paper money, and then Clinton gotten into office, right? And Clinton brought in the Patriot Act, which is what then in the future the Republicans used during the September 11, right? And then Obama creates laws about the internet of what to protect in the internet, so that then when Trump comes into office, a Republican, they yank all of those things away from us with the laws that Obama brought into office. So now we have a Democrat in office. What did you lose? Or what are you in the midst of losing? Well, let's see. You lost your dollar. I say yours because it was never mine. Because I had Wampoon. I don't know about you, but my tribe, which was in the Caribbean, which was trading with my other tribe here in these northern lands, UM, sorry. Right? When they said they sold New York for beads and trinkets. Wampoon was money. That was our money. That was what all tribes across all regions, across the known world that we knew, were transacting in. because it was easy to handle and it was to a financial structure. We wore it. We wore our money. Basically, this was crypto. Hold on. Let me say that one more time. I want, because I need, because, MG be saying things and he be bringing it down to us. I want to bring it all the way back around, right? Because he says the truth. What is crypto going to do to save you? Nothing. You had crypto. This was crypto. This was your wallet. What's in your wallet? You used to wear your wallet everywhere you went. You wore money. That's how flossy you motherfuckers are. And then this became the gold standard. All right? So they bought out all the lands, kicked us off the lands, and changed the standard of money to gold. Back to gold. Mansa Musa type beats. Because to be able to transact in with the rest of the Moorish kingdoms, they would have to transact in what? Gold. So they seized it from our queens, from our kings that were left here because their kids gave it up on the fourth generation that hates me. I'm Sephardic with this, y'all. Okay? So Wampoon was money. That was your wallet. So you had a private wallet. You didn't have a key to this. So now we just have our wallets now that can be on a USB drive and be in a sock or be in a book bag or be shipped someplace before you get there in a very small, inconceivable thing that even if they had it, they can't get into it because you have it encrypted. And you have multiple ones. So you could mail multiple encrypted keys to yourself at random times to random locations. Like, come on now. Stop it. Random wallets, multiple keys, multiple locations. You know what I had to begin thinking about? How do I pass this to my kin? All of us are going to be digitizing everything on the planet. Everything will be digital. There will be some digitization process that will have ads running in augmented reality for those that just get contacts or wear glasses. Those that have the chip will be able to self-immerse. And they will be the new barons of business. Don't have to like it. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm not playing that game, but to get around that, you have to be of the world, not in it. So I'm looking at the machines I gotta buy that are making my money for me and working on my behalf. Like I showed you in the last video. The fact that there's physical robots to help do our culinary business. And it's one of the hardest businesses to really automate. And that's what we're working on. We work on hard things first. I'm working on a marketing system to be able to take catalog media and be able to broadcast that from a centralized location. Centralized broadcast system, CBS. That's all that is, y'all. A centralized broadcasting system. Central Broadcast System, CBS. Stop playing with me. That's why I said this technology's in your freaking hands, y'all. YouTube is your television port. Your phone has access to YouTube. You are now a television network. I can buy advertising, make it look just like every other ad out there, and put some advertising revenue. And I can do it for as little as $30 freaking a month. I am doing it now. And I'm just targeting my own content. How do I target areas where there's money? Well, I go to zip codes and I find those zip codes to find out who has the highest tax brackets and go put my marketing in those zones. But then what am I selling, right? They're not there to buy no damn beats. So I need product to place my product with. My music has to be added to a product. So what do I sell? Well, now I just got to find a business that's trying to survive and needs advertising. And I can charge them to do videos. As long as you have After Effects and Premiere and Photoshop, you can make commercials. Just takes music and cutaways and fades and wipes and infographics and kinetic video. Once you know the terms, I'll show you what I mean. Kinetic text. Kinetic typography.
In this fun and in-depth After Effects video, the entire thought or the entire sentence together in one block like this. Right. So that's what you're going to want to think about is all the titles that you're going to use. Then here we are in our tutorial composition, and we have nothing in here, and we're going to work with one thought at a time. So my first title block is ready to go, and notice that it's on the paragraph blocks in here. So now I want to bring on 4 After Effects. I'm able to adjust my title, creating content, go to layer, new, null object. Since we have, and maybe we'll just actually make this a little bit slower. That this color, go to our color and just darken it down, and we will add a fill color, and make sure to click on RGB. And let's set the shape to smooth. And we'll move forward with this. These are just a few techniques of what goes behind creating a nice kinetic typography, block like this. So those are 3 techniques that should help you.
There. So he just showed you how to do this thing, and now there's plugins to do all that. You can do all that with plugins. You can buy a plugin that does all that hard-ass work. And that's what I learned, is that you can automate these things. Buy templates. You can go buy kinetic templates. Hold on. Boop, boop, boop. I'm gonna take you. No. Hold on. No. Video Hive. After Effects templates. Then no. You know what? No. I want elements. Boom, boom, boom. Then actually, better yet, no. Better yet, go to popular items, and then you'll see all of the popular items. So now you've got a graphics pack with 22 for $69. Right now it's on sale for $41. You've got transitions for $59. So you can do things like this, all inside After Effects, and they can do it inside Premiere for some of them as well. RTFX generator. So if you get those animated effects that you've seen on a bunch of cartoons and shows, you can have all or make your commercials, right? See? So you can do a lot with these things and layer them together and create these experiences where your music is utilized. Right? Because again, I'm telling you, y'all have to become media companies. This is not for negotiation. It's not enough to be a producer. That will not make you any money. And it hasn't made you any money thus far, because where is your utility if you're still looking for rappers to potentially rap a beat on it, and they have a shelf life of 2 years, and they maybe only have 1 hit in them. Maybe. 1. Maybe. Right? Especially if you're not in the know of an artist that can have access to create more content. You have your homeboy down the street. He may only have 1 or 2 in him. That might get a couple thousand plays. And he's not going to really promote his music and push his music. And that's where you don't make money. You have to have your music have utility. That utility means you start making commercials. You start doing something with your content. Even if you're making your own viral content, you need to make content. You have to become a content maker. You have to be CBS, NBC, ABC, Netflix, Hulu, Hulu Plus, Disney Plus, Netflix, Peacock, right? That's ABC. They're all doing it. Every single one of them is doing it. Right? Look at this. Cinematic parallax slideshows. It looks like Grand Theft Auto Vice City. But you can have text doing this stuff and parallaxing and moving and doing all this special stuff. There's lots of, look at that. That's Marvel. intro. If somebody wants a copy of a Marvel intro for something for their thing, you could now do something like that for their like, who's out here making cartoons and manga and anime? Who's out here making digital content for cryptocurrencies that are having some comic book, right? Some real usability. Oh, there's a comic that happens to have a blockchain behind it, and you can pay for like the books and get access to sell X amount of the comics because you're a partner in its manufacture, right? Once we have real world utility begin to happen, then you have transitions in lower thirds. So like if you have shows, you can have this whole thing where you have your transitions and lower thirds and all the other stuff. So you can go over here and get plenty of these After Effects stuff here in the video. There's After Effects, there's Apple Motion, you've got Premiere, there's DaVinci Resolve, which I believe they have a freer version of it. My favorite of these two, of course, After Effects and Premiere. So start making commercials, start getting utility out of your work and get them into foreign hands. Like, try to do things that are interesting in other places but yourself, like America crap. Is there some stuff happening to your brothers and sisters in another foreign land that you can expound on if you have a channel for that? Or if you're doing, if you have a love of business and you have mentors that you like in business, you can take some of their clips, piece them together yourself, put your music behind it, credit them and credit your music. Are you spiritual and you have a pastor you like? You could do the same thing for him. Is there somebody that you like motivates you? You could take their clips and again, put a link pointing back to them, but use your music. There's your utility. Create a channel that just does that with as many people as you want. Inspire. You can get paid from inspiration. Espiri, espiritu. Okay? That's all I want you to start doing. Like, begin generating commerce. I'm not telling you to buy crypto. We're in a cooled out cycle right now. It's going to keep going up and down until November. November, super dip. You just went through the super dip. Super dip coming back around when she comes. So until November, when super dip happens, I will be looking at my investments and beginning to start buying crypto again. I might bite a little bit in April once the market starts shaking out, because these people think things are going to change and the market ain't changed. And people keep pushing money back into the market. They ain't going to have that money. The ones that lost money when the market shifted on them and they sold, well, more and more people are going to keep doing that, thinking that this run is going to happen, and they're going to keep losing their money because the insiders are all selling. Insiders are still selling. Hold on, let's verify. Insider stocks. Let's just see one way or the other. Insider stocks, we're going to say in the past week. Oh, let's go to news, because we got to look at the news. Some are buying penny stocks. That's not important. Let's try sell, because there's not a lot of sales, it seems. Here we go. No, it's hiding. Insiders at Insperity Inc., NYC, New York Stock Exchange, NSC sold $10 million worth of stock 5 hours ago. How's this market going to come back, y'all? You think this market's bouncing back up and to go higher highs? Then why did somebody sell $10 million worth of stock? Remember, I just did the last week. Not looking at the week before last and the week before last that I showed you videos over and over that these guys are selling. I just now do it once a week. This insider has just sold in Lattice Semiconductor, Best Buy, and 3 other stocks sold by insiders. This insider some sold shares of World Wrestling and WWE. People are selling out their shares there. Selling Markle, 1,500 shares of stock. Insiders stole $991,000 worth of this stock last year. That was just last year, okay. $995,000 worth of community health, right? Pharmaceuticals. Insiders miss out having sold the stock earlier this year. So people miss a little 12% pump because they sold their stock. But again, people are selling out. And one of the biggest thing in the news last week was the fact that it's been retail buying up these dips. Everybody's been saying it. And I've been telling y'all, the reason why you don't see me doing like a crap load of crypto videos is because we're in crypto winter. Does not matter right now. And stocks, well, ain't nobody printing no new check. And they're slowing down their quote unquote buying, having just flooded the market with a whole bunch of damn credits. So right now, we ain't going to go back to higher highs because where is that money going to come from? Especially as jobs begin to fall away. We're going to have a great fall away of jobs. It's already begun. Why? Automation is not done rearing its ugly head. I was telling everybody back in 2018, I was telling Jay Morrison back in 2019, automation is coming. Businesses are going to be pivoting. We're going into a transformative realization. Then when 2020 came March, I told Jay Morrison, hey, this is exactly what I told you was going to happen last year. It's just been exacerbated, and this world is not going to be the same. I had dated an epidemiologist. This ain't going to play out the way everybody thinks it's going to play. We're going to be in this for a while. So that means your business for this whole real estate wealth management shit ain't going to matter right now. We're going to have to pivot to tech. He was like, nah, I ain't doing that. All right, Jay, good working with you. Peace out. I'm out. I'll be my own Jay in my own business. Then he calls me back weeks later, telling me, my nigga, you were right. Then I give him then he wants me to work with him. I send him what my consultation now looks like. I ain't heard back from him since. Because he didn't like the fact, and that was one of the reasons I dipped, is because no business respects what you cost. It don't even matter if they're the same shade as you. No business respects what you cost until they don't got you no more. And even then, they don't respect what you cost. And I didn't care because I saw the entire transition that's coming with digital as I've already laid out for you. These people are going to be cyborgs. You're not going to beat the cyborgs, so you better have financial structures. You better have your assets in play as far as your music in a utility position. You better be getting utility out of your music. Where are your royalties coming from? And I will keep reminding you of that. I'm opening up my CD baby right now. Because like I said, I am transparent. Esa transpantaria. Yeah, we drink this over there. Right? Filter your sales from, let's say, February to now. So, $28. And then these are all the sales we've had. Let me put it in 500. Oops. Hold on. Let's go back. Thank you. And give me 500. All right. So now March 24th, that would be this week, right? So Amazon, Facebook, NetEase, Cloud Music, Spotify, iTunes, Tencent, that's China, Facebook. Look at Facebook royalties. I'm really interested in starting to circulate my stuff through Facebook. China, TikTok ain't really doing jack. That's like micropayments, but that's no different than Bitcoin. Amazon, DE. So you know what that means. That's Germany, y'all. German Amazon streaming. What the hell is this? What is Riso? Hold on. We got a new one. Like I told you, this is why I do CD Baby, because then I don't even know where things come from. TikTok and Riso. Riso is the new music streaming service affiliated with System. Oh, so I'm already making Riso money. We're making Riso money. We making Riso money. Come on now. I don't even know what Riso was, and we're already making money on TikTok there. Shout out to Danye, man. NetEase, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube Music. Look at I love YouTube plays, man. YouTube content plays. Look at that. Content ID sale. That is their watermark system. You don't think I'm gonna be putting more landmines out? Y'all don't think? Look at that. This is Bitcoin mining for me on music level. Like I actually only understand Bitcoin because I started doing that. I'm gonna say that again. I only started understanding Bitcoin because I started mining my music. Mind your business, or mine, M-I-N-E, your business. Let's go into this. Content sale. Boom. See? That looks like a Bitcoin transaction. See? That looked like a Bitcoin transaction. That's 1 cent and some, right? This 28 plays got a couple, is like got 2 cents out of it. At 0.88, got 22 cents. And that's for These Streets Is Mine. Like that's like one of my skateboard friends loves this track, and he circulated around and started circulating in skateboard circles for when they were doing their video clips. 2 cents here. 80 plays here. Got 14 cents there. For Can't Help It. Wow. I wouldn't have guessed that. That's like it was one of my little love songs. All right. I didn't know the love song getting some traction. What's up? Tragic loves the ladies. Well, I don't love them anymore. I have my fiance. Hey, baby. She's like, what? You love what? Loved, past tense, baby. Loved, past tense. Right? So, yeah, they're selling. So, like I said, if you look at your royalties, right? If you look at the revenue that comes in from royalties. Oh, shit. I got to go. Y'all, I got to get up out of here. I just realized I got to get cranking. Y'all be safe out on these streets because I got to go make a delivery. I got work